Ladies and gentlemen, they didn't throw any bottles at him. They didn't physically harm him. They wasn't like some punk in Europe that snuck up behind a soccer player and tried to headline him. Or clothesline him, rather. They didn't do that. They just booed. That's perfectly their right. Philadelphia is no joke. Understand that Philadelphia does not play. 0 for 3, a walk, 2 strikeouts. Philadelphia does not play. You got a 13-year, $330 million deal. What you going to do with it? Got them loud sneakers on. That ain't going to cut it. I like Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper can ball. I've got faith in Bryce Harper, but make no mistake about it. You talking about living someplace for the duration of your career, being comfortable with you and your family? Let me give y'all a little tidbit of information. Philadelphia ain't Southern California. Philadelphia in a lot of places. See, you can stink up a few places and then go into the burbs in your merry way and live your life. Nobody gonna bother you. That ain't Philadelphia. Philadelphia, blue-collar city, y'all. I'm talking about Philadelphia and all its surrounding areas. Parts of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, all those surrounding parts. You don't get to show up in the city of brotherly love, stick up the joint, and life gonna be comfortable for you and your family. That's not how Philadelphia rolls. Philadelphia is a different animal. You sign for $330 million. And you sticking up the joint, Philadelphia gonna have a problem with you. Make no mistake about it. That's how they roll. That's who they are. And I don't have a problem with it. They don't let you hear about it. I don't have a problem with them booing Bryce Harper on opening day because what they're doing is disseminating a message, not just to him, but for the world to recognize. You don't get to be comfortable here.
The Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guests on the Stephen A. Smith Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, and you can always get in touch with the show through the 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed.
New beat. I kind of like that. Welcome back to Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance, making it easy to bundle your home and your car insurance. Make sure you listen. ESPN Radio, Progressive Insurance, today. 888-SAY-ESPN, it's 888-729-3776. You are listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Let's get right to it. Let's go to Micah. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Micah?
How are you?
I'm all right.
Hey,
go
Stephen,
ahead.
how are you? I hope you had a good weekend.
I did.
I respect you as an NBA and basketball analyst, but you can agree with me, hopefully, that Duke, the entire postseason, with the exception of North Dakota, didn't come with that intensity, didn't come with that drive to win.
I think you're wrong. I don't think that was their issue. I think what happened is that they were the Goliath and everyone was trying to knock them off. It's one thing for them to be Duke and Krzyzewski. It's another thing entirely when everybody's gunning for you because you're practically all we've talked about all year long because everybody's been raving about the greatness of Zion Williamson. They were such a huge target that other people brought their A games going up against Duke, and I think that was a factor.
Yeah, like with Taco Falls with UCF, and then also this is what Tom Izzo was preaching when he was, all up in arms with Henry two rounds ago. And imagine if Langford was healthy. We would not know what would happen, how bad the score would have been. When it's overtime or even bigger, score.
Well, listen, I think what happens is that ultimately, listen, in basketball, particularly in individual sport, like that can be from time to time. I think what you find is a situation where you have some individuals. I mean, we find out what you're made of because when you step on the court with somebody, that matters. I remember I was just being interviewed for a 30 for 30 documentary on Felipe Lopez. And I was reminded as to how Felipe Lopez was the phenom when he was coming out of New York City high school. And then he went up against Allen Iverson because Allen Iverson showed up to the Garden, the first meeting against Felipe Lopez, and everybody couldn't wait to see it. And Allen Iverson dropped 39. Or to a lesser degree, De'Aaron Fox last year, a couple of years ago in the NCAA tournament, he drops 39 on Lonzo Ball. Why? Because everybody was talking about Lonzo Ball. Sometimes that hype brings out the best in the opposition too. And we find out what people are made of. That's the kind of stuff that we're talking about here. And I think that was what you saw yesterday to some degree. Thanks for the call. Mike, you're live with Stephen A. What's up?
Hey, Stephen, this is Mike out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
an old Boston Celtic fan since I was a kid, and Bill Russell's my hero, but I got a question for you. I want to know who you think would be comparable to Zion Williamson when they came out of college or left high school and went to the NBA. The only individual that comes to my mind is Moses Malone. And I was just wondering your thoughts on the
bad comparison. Bad comparison because Moses Malone was a man in the paint that was 5 feet and in. That's what Moses Malone brought to you. He was a rebounding demon. He was unstoppable in the post. He was a man amongst boys in that regard. That is true. But Zion Williamson, his ability to step away from the basket, to hit three-pointers, to put the ball on the floor in the open court, to pass the basketball the way that he passes the basketball, I think the only person comparable to him is LeBron coming out of high school.
Right.
Coming out of high school, because LeBron could do all of those things. And LeBron was a physical freak of nature because LeBron was about 250 pounds.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, like I said, I'm 64, and Zion Williamson is potentially the best I've ever seen to come out to be that young going to the NBA.
Well, we'll find out because on the NBA level, listen, you think about it this way: Michael Jordan is the best to have ever played basketball. He averaged 30 on several occasions and finished his career averaging 30 a game. LeBron James is a career 27-point per game scorer. So Zion can do some things, but that's what, the numbers are not going to be greater than those. It's not like he's going to average over 30 a game religiously for his career. And even if he did, okay, that would be in line with other people. What he can bring to the table is the fact that at 280 pounds in a manner in which he can punish you while doing what he does. That's where he stands out above the crowd. LeBron James and to Zion to more of a degree because he doesn't mind playing with his back to basket and going inside at you, whereas LeBron is more of a perimeter player. What they can do to you physically is what really, really stands out above the crowd. They're so imposing physically, and the contact that they create and the way they're able to punish you while you're trying to punish them is what makes them stand out above the crowd. It's not what the numbers, it's not just the numbers that they can produce. It's how they can hurt you physically while doing it.
Right. Well,
right?
I know Moses could punish you too.
Yeah, but that was in a low post. You ain't never in your career see Moses Malone dribble the ball 94 feet. That never happened. Come on now. All right. Take care, man. Thank you so much. Let's go to RJ. You're live with Stephen A. What's up?
Yeah, how's it going?
I'm all right. Go ahead, man.
So, I'm watching the game yesterday, and I see Zion get the ball a few times, or at least they tried to get it into the post to him. I don't think a lot of people are talking about how Xavier Tillman was able to deflect a couple passes down to Zion.
He was.
I was wondering how you think that might translate to bigger players on the next level.
I mentioned it earlier. Tillman played good defense on them, considering the circumstances. On the NBA level, listen, I think it's a matter of Zion acclimating himself. Are people going to be tougher competition for him? Sure. But that's in terms of him, in his post game. But let's keep in mind, it don't matter what we say. You don't teach 280 pounds.
Yep.
280 pounds. Now, I don't care who you are. You don't want to deal with that. There's a lot of cats in the NBA that they're men, they're strong. You don't want to deal with 280 pounds, bro. You don't want to deal with that.
And if you put a post move with 280 pounds as well, that's going to be something serious.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I'm saying the fact that he's in full. Look at what Zion does. First of all, his second jump is extraordinary because he gets off his feet really, really quickly. But the biggest thing about him is that he's a master at leaning into you and making you feel those broad shoulders and forearms of his when he goes up for a shot. You got to look at Taco Fall. This guy's 7'6". And Zion went right at him. Couldn't dunk on him, but he went right at him and created that contact because he elevates so high. And you combine that with his strength and his girth and mass. That's going to be a problem because most dudes in the NBA ain't like that. And remember, he's about 18, 19 years old, bro. He hasn't really filled out yet. There's still some growing for him to do. Yeah, so he's only going to get stronger. And that's what people are ignoring. And it ain't just upper body. You see those tree trunks and legs he got on him? Somebody better watch out. Appreciate the call. Michael, you're live with Stephen A. What's up?
Hey, good afternoon, Stephen A. I was just going to talk to you about the Duke Blue Devils in the NCAA tournament. You know, the way ESPN and all the national media, if Coach K, which I've been a big Duke fan since the 1970s, even before Coach K came, if they didn't win at all, everybody's going to say it was a failure. I truly believe that, you know, give Coach Izzo and his teams a round of applause. But my only question is in that, you know, I don't know if it was something Coach K didn't call or anything there. Man, you know, that's got 5 national championships, 3 gold medals. How do you have this Superman Zion, the last 3 possessions, go down there and not even look to pass the ball?
Stop right there. One time Zion gave the ball up. He did have the ball. And he gave it to R.J. Barrett, and R.J. Barrett missed a 3. Another time he gave it up, and R.J. Barrett got to the free throw line and missed one and made one by accident. So that's not true. That's number one. Number 2, yes, I will call this season a failure. If it were most other teams, no. But Duke, yes. You're the Duke Blue Devils. You have the great Mike Krzyzewski as your coach, and you have a recruiting class that rendered even the great John Calipari damn near irrelevant when it came to recruiting because you got a bunch of one-and-done guys. You had Zion, you had R.J. Barrett, you had Trey Jones, you had Cam Reddish, and you didn't even make the Final Four. I understand they had a successful season. They won their share of games. I get all of that. I understand that they won the ACC tournament, but that's not what we look to Duke for. We look to Duke for a national title, or at least a berth into the Final Four. And the fact that Zion is not playing the last weekend of the season at all is a problem. It ain't his fault because he showed up. So where I blame Coach K is I'm looking at Cam Reddish. And I'm saying, how was this guy so inconsistent all year long? I saw no improvement from Cam Reddish from the time this season began to the day it ended. None. And that's where I have to look at the coaching, as much as I love and respect Coach K.
You know, and the way is these kids nowadays have to wait, and the recruiting process that goes is you're kind of, is this kid where he was supposedly at the beginning of the year going to be a one and done? And now I truly believe, and I think, as you said earlier, I think he needs to stay at least one more year.
He needs to stay.
Of Coach K.
He needs to stay.
And maybe he can improve his stock.
Right.
Even
I got to run. Listen, Jay Williams came on the show, and Jay Williams, former All-American and national champion at Duke, said that Cam Reddish might find himself in the G League if he came out this year. Because his lack of a motor, his inconsistent play, they might draft him but send him down to the G League. You got men in there trying to pay mortgages and feed families. They ain't tolerating his nonsense. Cam Reddish was an incredible disappointment. I'm just going to say it like it is. Because I like his skill and I like his potential. But my goodness, did he let me down. I expected a hell of a lot more from him. I really, really did. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. Back with your calls and more to close out the hour before my man Michael K comes on to start off hour number 2. By the way, need seats to a game? Download the Vivid Seats app and enter promo code CHAMPS at checkout to get 10% off your first order. Don't buy just any seat. Get a Vivid seat.